Welcome to Sunday Night Spotlight. I'm Ben Allison, and today I am filling in for Clark Taylor, who's taken a well-deserved week off, and Shard, who's had to take care of some family business. But don't worry, because we do have one of the usual hosts with us. How are you today, Megan?
I'm doing well. It's actually a surprise that I'm doing Sunday Night Spotlight with you, Ben. But you know, we don't need the other guys. We can handle it. We got this.
Exactly, but we have got a very, very special guest today
Yes.
because she has been a champion all over the globe. She is a former NXT UK superstar and will be challenging for the DEFY Women's Championship in a triple threat match against Marina Shafir and Kanji at Progress Wrestling Chapter 171 on September 22nd. And that guest is none other than Nina Samuels. How are you today?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
It's an absolute delight to have you, and I want to get straight into things because recently in an interview with Progress Wrestling, you said that Kanji owes her success to you. And in response to that, she said that she owes part of it to you, but not most of it. But you had also said that she knows what she needs to do for all of this to stop, and she said that she has no idea what that could be. Does she just need to acknowledge the fact that you played a major role in her career for this all to stop?
Yeah, she needs to thank me. She's an ungrateful brat, essentially, is what it is. She preaches everything about kindness and everything like that, but she's forgetting where she came from. Like, no doubt, Kanji would not be where she is now if it wasn't for me. Kanji got put on the map from rubbing shoulders with me. And she always likes to speak so highly of all these other people that were so important in her career. She's been very vocal about how much she loves wrestling. Charlie Evans and their wonderful story that they had together, their wonderful history-making moments together, her moments with Giselle. She's always so willing to put over all these other women. But for some reason, I seem to get left out of that, and my name was never brought up. And the moment I showed back up at Progress, after NXT UK had finished and I came back to the Progress Women's Division, she was still champion at that point. And my first match back in Progress should have been against Kanji. She saw that it was announced I was going to be returning. I didn't have an opponent announced. She should have said, I need to validate this title reign by wrestling the woman that made me. And she didn't do that. She ducked me for all this time. And she's still not acknowledging what I did for her.
Wow. That is absolutely fascinating. So if she acknowledges you, then it's done.
Yeah. Now, it's clear that you're driven by a strong sense of conviction and a desire to settle the score with Kanji. But by warning others to stay out of it, are you essentially isolating yourself in this feud? Are you prepared to take on not just Kanji, but potentially a whole locker room of wrestlers who might see her as a friend or an ally?
So we've proven that having allies isn't necessarily the way to go. I put my trust in Debbie Keitel, and that didn't work out. The match was not what I set out for. The experience sabotaged that match for me. I wanted to go out there with my proven success tag partner, Lena Cross. And then the experience decided to change the rules and decided it meant that I had to add someone else, someone that I wasn't familiar working with. And then we saw how that went. But let's just say, Kanji's not going to be getting many more friends. I'm going to make sure that anyone who chooses to be friends with or align with Kanji is going to regret it. And then it's just going to be about me and her.
You ain't gonna have no enemy out of me. I'll be afraid.
No,
to be
you
your
don't want to
enemy.
get on my bad side, trust me.
Yes.
Kanji's being defiant. Most other people have already learned that.
Ooh, well, I also want to find out what your first thoughts were when you found out the other day that Marina Shafir is going to be involved in your match against Kanji. It's going to be a triple threat match for the DEFY Women's Championship at Progress Chapter 171. And also the possibility of the Blackpool Combat Club potentially getting involved because we know they're aligned with Marina Shafir now.
Yeah, hey, Marina Shafir is making waves right now, and power to her. And her name is everywhere right now. And that just makes me excited, because then that means that my name is going to be everywhere once I take that DEFY Women's Championship off her. Like, there is no better time to win that championship than when it's on someone like Marina Shafir, who is at the absolute top of her game. The only thing that will make it even sweeter is if I win that championship by pinning Kanji. That's the dream. That's what I want.
Wow, that would be incredible to see. And I'm sure Marina would be fuming if she loses that title and wasn't pinned for it.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned Debbie Keitel, and you was recently in a 6-woman tag match with her and Lena Cross. And in your recent interview, you mentioned that Debbie impressed you during the match, but the jury is still out on her. It sounds like you're willing to give her another chance to prove herself in Progress. So, what do you think Debbie needs to do to win you over and earn your trust, both as a partner and a competitor?
Well, steady on that. I didn't say I'm open for another partner. I'm absolutely not. But I've seen in plenty of other places what Debbie can do. I mean, even recently, I was on the other side of the ring with her when we had our big 5 versus 5 match at Revolution Pro Wrestling. So I've seen what she can do. I've seen what pain she can withstand. I've seen how tough she is. But at Progress, that hasn't connected yet. You know, her last match against me, she cost me that match. I have an L against my name next to Kanji in that match because of her. But I'm a reasonable person. I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt and see her prove herself again in Progress. But it will not be with my record on the line. Let me get that straight.
Well, then that is ruled out. But one thing which I think is certainly not ruled out is you holding the Progress Women's Championship once again. And of course, next weekend, you are going to be competing for that DEFY Women's Championship. But do you have one eye still on Rio and the possibility of being the first dual Progress and DEFY Women's Champion at the same time?
Oh, you know me. I love me some gold. I didn't get to become Nina 10 belts, which I still am, by the way, without having a passion for gold and without having the skill to get gold. And I think Rio thinks that I'm in the rearview mirror right now. Let's be clear. I always have that Progress Women's Championship on my mind. But right now, I need to end Kanji. Like, I need to get this Kanji problem out of my head. And what way by getting the Kanji problem out of my head than introducing another problem, hey, with Marina Shafir? But hey, I will gladly embarrass her in front of Marina Shafir, in front of everyone in the entire building. And then I will get the DEFY Women's Championship, and then I'll become Nina 11 belts, and then I'll get the Progress Women's Championship, and I'll become Nina 12 belts.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yes. Yes. I mean, you know, as I just love watching the progress and the evolution of women wrestlers in different promotions. You know, honestly, some of the matches among the women are better than the men. I don't think Ben will disagree with that, right, Ben? You wouldn't.
He better not.
Absolutely. I 1000% agree.
So, as someone who has been a part of the Progress Women's Division for a while now, what do you think is the key to taking the women's division to the next level and getting more eyes on the talented women who are a part of it?
So we've already done a lot for the Progress Women's division. I mean, let's not forget the last 2 super strong styles in a row. The main match that everyone has been talking about has been a women's match. My match, by the way. 2 years ago, it was me versus Alexis Falcon in the Clock Strikes Midnight match. This year, it was me, Rio, Kanji, and Lizzie in our ladder match. Even most recently, again, I bring back up Revolution Pro Wrestling, a huge show at the Copper Box with internationally renowned talents. What's the match everyone's talking about? 10 women. Imagine years ago telling people that a match with that many impressive wrestlers on, people will be talking about a 10-woman tag. They would not believe you. And I think that comes down to how amazing the women are on our scene right now. Like, the competition is insane. And the competition is so good because we're also competitive. But we're competitive for ourselves, but we're also competitive on behalf of all the women. So we're always going to bring out the best in each other because we want to make sure that we're the match that everyone's talking about after that show. And we keep on doing it.
I mean, that's 1000% agree with you, and it's incredible to see all the way which women's wrestling has come over the past few years. I mean, here at Wrestling Republic over the last couple of months, that we've been a bit critical at times of WWE and AEW for the lack of time that they're giving women's wrestling compared to where we think it should be now. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that?
I just want women to be celebrated wherever it is. But from a selfish position, I'm happy that I am where the women are being celebrated, where we are being put in prominent positions. You know, because it fuels me, and I know our locker room, I know it fuels everyone, that we all have that same goal. We all have that goal of wanting to be elevated. And, you know, I've been in that position, you know, of working in the big company. You know, I've worked for WWE before, and I know what it was like with, you know, you are sometimes fighting a losing battle. So it is really, really hard. And, you know, that's why I'm so grateful for all the opportunities that we get now. And I'm grateful to be in places where I feel like my voice is heard, and like I'm going to make people take notice because I've got more freedom to do so, and, you know, less rules, through say, that I have to fit in with. So we're making people pay attention, and they are, rightly so.
Absolutely. And you mentioned NXT. You mentioned WWE briefly there. I'd also like to touch upon NXT UK because, of course, you were part of that brand, and then the brand closed its doors. But when it closed its doors, they announced that NXT Europe would be happening, but we've not really heard much of anything since. I mean, do you think that after being part of NXT UK that there will be an NXT Europe, or are you not sure if that's now the plan?
Honestly, I'm skeptical. I think they did have genuine intentions at one point, but then not that long after that was when they had the merger with Endeavor and they became TKO. And then inevitably, every time 2 companies merge, things are gonna change. So I don't think that when they announced NXT Europe that they had any bad intentions. I think they genuinely thought that it was going to happen. But right now, so many things have changed. Could it happen one day? Possibly. Like, they are doing so many more expansions. But right now, WWE are doing great with the European tours that they're doing. They're making record gates in every European city that they're going with. So maybe that's an impetus for them to start a product, or maybe that's a sign for them to say, the way we are doing things now is exactly the way that we need to be doing it. I would love for it to be there because it was great that it allowed so many of us an opportunity to, you know, have a job and have that exposure, have that opportunity. But right now, I'm skeptical that it will be anything anytime soon.
That is very fascinating.
Now, on the topic of NXT UK, if there was an opportunity for it to come back, do you have any women in mind that you would like to see be a part of the the re-emergence of it? Is there any male wrestlers you would like that you feel could benefit from it? Like, if you had to pick your favorite people to work with under WWE again, who would those people be?
That's a tough one. I cannot praise our scene enough. We have such an incredible amount of talent. So I'd love to see, like, Millie McKenzie was seeing there with me in NXT UK for a long time. She's one of my absolute favorite people. I would love to see Millie McKenzie back in. Lizzie as well, to have her back, because she was only just getting started at the time. But then you've got, like, I feel like Rio now is a completely different wrestler to how NXT UK, to how she was when NXT UK was there. So I feel like for someone like her to not be a part of it would be absolutely criminal. And then even male wrestlers, we got, he's TNA now, but Leon Slater, I always pegged him for amazing things. And I think someone who could do absolutely anything that he wants to do. Doris is someone else who has absolute star written all over him. Cara Noir is now back, which will be, you know, on this Progress show next week as well. I think the world is his oyster for Cara Noir. And then if we're talking about European flavor, Zazaya just made his Progress debut on the last show. And Zazaya is someone I've only got to know recently, but he is an unbelievable talent. And his story is fascinating. The amount of passion that he's put into this, the amount of dedication that he's put into it. So we are spoiled for choice with the amazing scene that we have here in Europe.
Absolutely.
Miss Nina, I noticed you didn't say Kanji.
Why would I?
You know,
did we not have this conversation?
it's true. It's true. I just thought like maybe it would be like a woman's rivalry that would live on past the company. Like everyone would look up to it. Like everyone would just want to have a feud build similar to you and her. No?
But I've helped Kanji in the past.
Yeah.
And where did it get me? Like, my first match back in Progress, as I said, should have been for the Progress Women's World Championship against Kanji, who was champion at the time. And it wasn't, because Kanji ran scared. So why am I going to bring Kanji's name up in a conversation like that when she's shown how ungrateful she is? I'm not saying she's not a great wrestler. She's
Right.
obviously a fantastic wrestler. She is sublimely talented. But I live from my experience. I'm not going to bring her name up in any conversations that are going to get her in a better position, because I've tried helping her in the past and look where it's got me.
Some people, definitely not me, but some people might say, based on what you just said right there, that perhaps you are worried that Kanji might overshadow you.
Are you one of those people?
I am not one of those people, certainly not. But some people
Good.
might say that.
Well, some people can piss off. I know how I feel. It's not, I always say, however someone else feels about me is none of my business. They're entitled to feel what I want to feel. I know how I feel about myself, and I know how I feel about Kanji. And Kanji knows what she needs to do to rectify my thoughts on her. This could all go away. This could all go away if Kanji just gets over herself and admits what I've done. But she's not going
Fair
to.
enough.
Now, to take a step back from the Kanji topic, I guess I would want to know, and others would like to know, what is the biggest misconception of you? Because I feel, in my perspective, I feel you are a strong woman who stands on her conviction. She believes that she is on top of her game and that she should get the due respect that she's entitled to. And I believe you deserve to get the due respect too. But sometimes, as strong women, we can be, our presence can be a little strong for people, and therefore they have a misconception of us. So, what is the biggest misconception that people have about you, and how do you wish they could see the real you, the real Nina Simone? Excuse me, Nina Samuel.
I think the biggest misconception that people have about me is they get distracted by all the glitz and the glam. They get distracted by my gorgeous pink sparkly hat. They get distracted by my gorgeous outfits, by my glamorous nature, and think that I'm nothing more than some kind of former showgirl who just happened to fall into a ring. People forget how dangerous I am in the ring. People forget that. People think that I've just clicked my fingers and magicked 10 championships. 10 championships? Are you kidding me? The most that's ever been held by a woman ever. Ever. That comes from hard work. Like, where do you see me right now? Right now, I've been here training all day. I put in work to this, and I am a threat. Just because I look fucking fabulous does not mean that I can't end you. And I wish people, you know what? No, let them think that. Let them underestimate me. I've got 10 championships. I've got 10 championships. Whatever I am doing is working, just as it's going to work next week. And I'm going to add one more for the DEFY Women's Championship.
That is going to be absolutely fascinating. I'm excited for that match for sure. I mean, we briefly touched upon it earlier, but I just want to ask specifically again with the Blackpool Combat Club. You said that obviously Marina Shafir's got a lot of topics around her right now. She's, trending a lot in the wrestling world because of her alliance with the Blackpool Combat Club. But because you are so focused on Kanji, are you worried that perhaps we've seen how unpredictable the faction can be, that perhaps the Blackpool Combat Club could get involved to make sure Marina does keep her title?
I would love the Blackpool Combat Club to get involved. Bring it on. Bring them all on. I'm going to let Kanji take that. That's the benefit of a triple threat match. I don't have to be in the ring the whole time. I can observe. I can pick my moments. And I can feed Kanji to the wolves. The wolf being the problem, Miss Marina Shafir, and whoever decides to turn up. So I don't look at this as a disadvantage. If anything, if the Blackpool Combat Club are turning up, this is more eyes on this match, which means more eyes on the Nina Samuel show, which it will be when I win the DEFY Women's Championship.
Great point.
Yes. I just want to go back a little bit. In your interview, well, like I mentioned before, you was in a recent 6-women's tag match with Debbie and Lena. And in your interview, I thought it was really cool to hear that you and Lena had such a strong connection both in and out of the ring. And you mentioned that you don't normally work well with others, but with Lena, she instantly earned your respect. What was it about her that made her different? And do you think that partnership brought out a different side of you as a wrestler?
I think me and Lena complement each other perfectly because we both pay attention to all of the details. Like, have you seen the woman? She is exceptional. Like, she instantly exudes superstar. And even just from her entrance, seeing her the first time, I was impressed by her, which it takes a lot for me to be just impressed by someone from their entrance alone. And then seeing how well she could go in the ring, my mind was blown. Like, we won our first tag team match together. We just clicked that quickly against 2 top stars in Sendai Girls, might I add. Former champions, including Dash Chisako. We won that match on our first time tagging together. It was just magic. And now I'm so happy that Progress have got to see twice exactly what she can do and how much she lit up the UK scene when she was there. Like, I sincerely hope that she's going to be back here. I'm sure she will be back here. We're going to make it happen. And then I just want to keep teaming with her. Like, up until this Progress match, we were undefeated in tag matches for the UK as well. Yeah, she's just an incredible, incredible talent. Look at her. She's a star, an absolute star. And that's coming from me. I don't take that lightly.
Absolutely. I mean, it is an exciting time right now for, you know, Progress Wrestling. I mean, if you were to try and get somebody to watch it who hasn't watched Progress Wrestling, you know, ever before, why would you tell them to watch Progress Wrestling Chapter 171 on September 22nd?
Because you're going to be there to witness history. So right now, I am Nina 10 Belts. Nina 10 Belts is equaling a very famous record from the incredible Ultimate Dragon. We've all seen his famous picture with the 10 belts. But when I win the DEFY Women's Championship, I will have 11 championships. That is legitimately a record, not just for a woman, but for anyone in the world. No one in the world has held 11 championships in one go. So you are going to witness history, and you are going to witness me do it over Kanji, and you are going to witness Kanji on her knees groveling to me that she was wrong about Nina Samuels. And that is going to be the most beautiful sight that anyone could witness.
Can you tell me about a time when you felt like you were being held back, whether it was being in the wrong, teaming up with the wrong person, whether you felt like you wasn't getting enough time, you know, in the ring, or you weren't getting the matches that you felt you was entitled to, or title match, you know, title matches. Just a time when you felt like you wasn't being put in a position that you felt you deserved to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2021 for me, when I was in NXT UK, was a very tough time. I had, in NXT UK, I had 5 matches that entire year. And I was cleared to compete the whole time. You know, I'd had the odd niggle, as everyone does, but nothing that ever stopped me from being able to wrestle. The worst injury I had, I wrestled through it, and we filmed 2 matches in one day. So out of those 5 matches, 2 of them were filmed in one day. So yeah, that year was definitely a really, really tough year for me. That was before I'd started the Nina Samuels show, which came later in that year. And the Nina Samuels show was essentially born out of protecting my sanity, because I was just desperate to do more, desperate to be seen more. But it's tough, you know. It was a 1-hour show with an insanely talented roster. You know, there was only so many opportunities there, and I did feel like I was worthy of more opportunities, but that's the way the cookie crumbled. So, but you know, a positive thing that came out of it was that determination drove me to start up the Nina Samuels show, because I said if NXT UK wasn't going to be the Nina Samuels show, I was going to make my own Nina Samuels show. And I think I probably came out of NXT UK being known more for that than I did for my wrestling, but that's just the sort of person that I am. I can't sit still and do nothing. So yeah, that's a time when I definitely felt like I wanted to have more opportunities than I was getting. But guess what? I made my own opportunities, and what started off as just me filming it myself on a phone and posting it myself eventually got snapped up, and then is still on WWE Network to this day, still on YouTube to this day. So yeah, so from out of that sort of dark period came something that I was actually really, really proud of, and that I learned a lot from. So I think anytime we have something like that where we feel underappreciated, it's just how we handle it. And I'm very happy with how I handled that situation, because I think I got something wonderful out of it.
You absolutely did. No, it was brilliant to watch, no doubt about it. And you certainly managed to, really show your character as well through it, which is always absolutely brilliant. Now, I promise you this is the last time I'm going to mention the word kanji in this interview, but I have got to bring it up. Chapter 162, Kanji did defeat you. What are you going to do to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Why are you trying to piss me off like this? What have I done to you? What have I done to you to deserve this absolute trolling? Like, yes, well done. Kanji got a victory over me. I've got a victory over her as well. Not in a progress ring, sure, but plenty of times outside of progress ring. And another one is going to happen next week. And then maybe I'll give her a title shot. Maybe I won't. I'll see how I'm feeling, and I'll see if she decides to come back and grovel at me. Probably not.
Well, we'll certainly have to wait and see.
Nina, I apologize for Ben. I know that. Look, we're here, and I understand. So I'm going to lighten up the mood a little bit because we have something in common, and we were both big fans of the Spice Girl.
Oh, yes. Joe, it's the first concert that I ever went to.
Really?
Was the Spice Girls at Wembley Stadium just after Jerry had left. That was my first ever.
I'm so jealous. Now I know you had a very special love for Sporty Spice, and I guess my question is: have your favorite Spice Girl changed over the years? And are you still hoping for a reunion tour like me? Because I'm still hoping that we get something.
So. Oh, I would love a reunion tour. I would absolutely love a reunion tour. I would hope that the reunion tour isn't managed by Ticketmaster, because I absolutely cannot with Ticketmaster right now with this Oasis stuff, Linkin Park stuff, although I did get Linkin Park tickets, but it was a struggle. So yes, I absolutely would love a reunion tour with a good ticketing system so that I can make it. But I think Sporty Spice probably is still my favorite, Like, the woman could do a backflip. That was just such, superhero goals to me. And I still feel like she's the best singer. And she had some banging solo tunes as well. I Turn to You is still on my, happy, gym playlist. So, but I love them all. And I think what's kind of what I love about Spice Girls is what I love about wrestling compared to back when I was dancing. What I loved about Spice Girls was they were all so different. So they weren't trying to blend in with each other. They were trying to be the best version of themselves. And then from that, everyone had someone to identify with. And that was what I loved, making the switch from dancing to wrestling. I went from having to wear the same thing as everyone else, having to fit in with everyone else and try and blend in, to all of a sudden, anything that made me unique, I could run with. And if anything, turn that up. So yeah, it's actually what I love about Spice Girls is actually what I love about wrestling. I love that we can play to our strengths in wrestling, dial down our weaknesses. But if we have strengths and weaknesses, hey, that just makes for a great story. So yeah, I think Spice Girls would have made great wrestlers, actually. I would have loved that. You know when Progress used to do the 70s and 80s shows, I was really hoping for them to get to a 90s one because I was desperate to do a Spice Girls Fatal 5-Way. I think that would have been amazing. So maybe with the new management, maybe they can come back to doing a 90s show and I can get my Spice Girls Fatal 5-Way. We'll see.
Let's speak it into existence.
I like that.
Awesome.
I like that idea. Definitely.
Yeah, the fans can have fun casting, doing the casting for that, seeing who they think should play each Spice Girl.
Yes. Oh, well, Sporty Spice is definitely going to you. We're not going to give her to anyone else.
I need to work on my backflip, but yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But thank you so much, Nina, for coming and talking to us today. make sure everybody watching that you guys check out Progress Chapter 171 on September 22nd. You can watch it live on demand, Progress Plus. And if you use code WatchProgress1, you can get 50% off your first month or first year if you use the yearly plan. So make sure to use that code and get some money off. It will be absolutely great. And you could see Nina Samuels win the DEFY Women's Championship in that match as well.
Good.
Very well
Good.
could happen.
This
Oh,
hateful
Ben.
language. This hateful language.
Oh, Ben.
He doesn't learn, does he? He doesn't learn.
No. Well,
You can
again,
host the show next time instead.
Oh, yes, I got
Ben
you.
can have a
girl.
day off. Have a day off, Ben. Have a day off.
Oh, gosh. I thankfully do have a week off in a couple of weeks, but thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. Please like and subscribe and watch Progress Chapter 171. See you guys. Pa. Peace.